So I don't usually do this, but I really felt strongly to share this prophetic word given by God through 2 dreams that I had. I personally thought it was just for me, but actually realizing this isn't just for me, this is for everyone. And I felt this strongly in prayer this morning. So that's why I'm sharing it here today. So 2 of the dreams that I had, to kind of summarize it, essentially there was a massive wipeout. There was a wipeout of every single person, and the enemy was just coming after everyone. There was like a group of people, I remember them all dressed in black, and they were just killing everyone, destroying everyone. There was just a massive wipeout. And the only way that you were protected, the only way that you were covered by God, covered, was if you were covered by God, if you were abiding under his shadow, if you were dwelling in his presence, if you were covered by him, if you were marked, if your doorpost was marked with the blood of Jesus Christ. Remember when, there was a wipeout, in the Bible during the times of Pharaoh, when Pharaoh wouldn't let God's people go. And there was a massive wipeout of all the children, boys specifically, I think it was. Gosh, forgive me if I'm wrong, if I've misquoted in any way. But there was that massive wipeout. And basically, the only way that you were protected is if you had the blood on your doorposts, okay? If you had the blood on Jesus on your doorposts, and the angel of death was going through, and essentially there was a wipeout, but would go over the houses that had the blood on the posts. Again, forgive me if I've misquoted, but essentially it was something like that that was happening in 2 of my dreams. And there was just massive wipeout. There was this massive, the first dream I had, there was all these people, it was like more so in a massive building, and massive building. And I remember I could see from afar these people coming in and just killing everyone and wiping everyone out. And I remember the fact that I could see afar meant I had warning, meant the fact that I could, run and hide. However, I just remember feeling strongly like, well, either way they're going to get me. Either way they're going to get to me, because I couldn't escape out of the building in this particular dream. So either way they were going to get to me. And then what occurred to me was that, hold on, I am covered by God. If I pray and seek God, God will cover me. And God, I remember specifically this word, being made invincible to the enemy. I will be made invincible to these people. They will pass me and not see me. They will look for people, but as they get to me, they will not see me and they will pass me. So I remember that just being very, very specific in the dream. And there were some other things that happened, but I think that's kind of irrelevant right now. And then in another dream, basically the same thing happened. In fact, I think this was last night or the night before. It was either last night or not. Yeah, last night. And another dream, again, there was another wipeout. And essentially, everyone was just being... now I'm trying to remember now, but yeah, there's a massive wipeout again in a massive building, and basically these people again going around killing people, wiping people out. And I remember again I had a warning, but this time it was a shorter warning that I had because they were very close to me. And I started trying to run, and I remember running to the end of a building, and I was on this rooftop, and I thought about jumping, and I thought if I jump I'm going to break my bones. But I remember specifically in the dream that I was trying to jump, that I thought about jumping. Actually, yes, because I had warning before, and I was going to jump, but I thought, I'm going to break my bones, not going to do it. But as they got closer to me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the only way to escape. I need to get out. So I need to jump. And I was just like, you know what, let me just trust God. I'm just going to jump. Turns out, as I jumped and I reached the bottom, this other rooftop, it was actually, it was like a trampoline. Like, so I bounced. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm saved. My body is saved. I'm no longer, I didn't have to fear the fact that my bones were going to break or anything like that. I was going to injure myself severely. So then as I got up, I then quickly ran. And I remember running, and these people were chasing me, and I knew they were not mere humans, because they could supernaturally appear in certain places. So for example, let's say they were on the rooftop trying to get to me and wipe out everyone else because they had wiped out the whole building. Then because they got to the rooftop where I was, then what happened was that they could supernaturally just get to the bottom of the building where I was, on the next floor, the next building, and on some other floor. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that's making sense. But anyway, so basically got down there. So they supernaturally could shift there basically. And I remember trying to run down. I had 2 options to go either left or right. And then I remember standing there. I was thinking a little bit too long because it was wasting time. And I was like, do I go left, do I go right? Then I decided, okay, fine, I'm going to go right. And then there was like this door to this other corridor, down this other corridor, this hallway, but then there was like a elevator at the end of it, and I was like, oh no, because there was no other door down there to get out. And I thought, oh my gosh, if I get to the elevator, you know, elevator doors close really slowly. I thought they could still get to me. But then again, so then I thought about running out, but then I was like, I'm not going to have time, because they were already supernaturally, you know, got down the bottom quite quickly. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to go in the elevator and trust God and ask God again to make me invincible to the enemy, because the only way that I am going to get out of here is being covered by God. It is God covering me. So I started praying, and then I remember they got to me at the door, like at the elevator door, and they was about to come inside. And then I remember this thought came to me, and it was like, oh my gosh, did it not work? Did I pray and it not work? And I was like, there's no way that. And I was just like, no, I'm going to keep trusting God. And I just said, in the name of Jesus. And then all of a sudden, the elevator lift broke. And then all of a sudden, someone appeared to fix the elevator, which meant we all had to get out. And these people that were trying to get me didn't want anyone else to know that they were trying to get me, because they'd already wiped everyone else out. But anyone else who appeared, they were like, okay, it's like I was their priority to get at that point, so no one else was. So they didn't want anyone to know that they were trying to get me. So then when this person came to fix the elevator, just randomly appeared supernaturally, they said, oh, now everyone needs to leave and get out. And then I was like, yes, God, like God literally appeared at that moment, and I knew it was God saving me at that moment, and I knew again it was the emphasis of being covered. But anyway, my point is, I'm gonna have to do another video because this is getting quite long. But the point is as well, so I was in prayer this morning, so that was a dream. There's some other things, but again, irrelevant. So I was in prayer this morning, and I was like, okay, and I just felt strongly to read Psalm 91 because, you know, I was praying over myself, my household, and then just felt so strongly to read Psalm 91. And I'm just going to read it really quickly. Maybe we might finish in this video. But essentially, in verse 1 says, he who dwells, and you probably already know Psalm 91, but I need you to really, really listen. It says, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. He who dwells in the secret place shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So remember that. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I have been feeling so strongly, I'm going to read a few more verses because it's relevant here, but I've been feeling so strongly lately, these past months, just how important, how key it is to draw closer to God, how key it is to be disciplined, to be obedient, how key it is to focus on your salvation and your household, and the Bible also says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. And I have been feeling such a emphasis on how important that is right now, like that God is coming back very soon, that there is going to be things that are going to be happening. We've been seeing so many things happening in the world, the past year, 2 years, 4 years, even in fact, since COVID and everything. We've been seeing all the plane crashes in America, like one after the other. There's so many things that have been happening. All these, disease outbreaks, these wars, these, all these different things happening, and is clearly a sign of the end times. And I've been feeling even more strongly these past months how important it is to draw closer to God, and how important it is to not have your foot in the world. You need to choose which side you're on, because you are going to get wiped out. And in fact, it's going to be worse for you if you have one foot in the world and one foot in God. Because even, in Revelations, it says that I will spit you out of my mouth if you are lukewarm. You need to be either hot or cold. You cannot be both. And again, just that emphasis on that right now and the importance of it. So with my 2 dreams, like I said, I thought it was personal to me because, I was the one who was running. But the fact that I had a warning, which shows that, God is warning us. God is giving us time. God is giving us a chance to make right. I'm going to do another video, so stay tuned for part 2.